Hello and welcome back to Graf Woodshop. My name is Josh Graf, and today we're going to be talking about everything you could want to know about shipping your woodworking projects. Whether you made a pen for somebody for Christmas or you made a step stool and you're wanting to ship that out anywhere in the country, we're going to be talking about the best ways to get that done. Even if you aren't into woodworking and you're just wondering how to ship a coffee cup or anything else, stay tuned because this information is going to be valuable to you. So, let's get after it. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to buy and print your own shipping labels at home to save tons and tons of money, which everybody wants to do. Also, what are the best shipping supplies to purchase and where should you get them? And also, some best practices for packaging your shipping orders so that they don't break and fall apart in transit. I won't be talking today about any sort of freight shipping, like shipping a coffee table or a bookshelf or anything massive, okay? Really what we're talking about today is anything maybe the size of a step stool or something smaller than that. Because I'm not an expert on freight shipping, I don't know what I'm doing there. I do know what I'm doing with shipping these smaller things that could fit in a good sized box. Okay, so let's talk about actually purchasing your shipping labels. The absolute worst thing you can do is walk into the post office or the UPS store with your item, have them package it up, and have them print out a label and put it on it. If you do that, you're going to be paying retail rates for your postage as well as paying them to package it up. There is a huge difference between retail rates and commercial rates for postage, especially with the USPS. So what you want to do is really package things at home using your own box that you either have left over from something you ordered on Amazon or that you purchase yourself, and then printing the labels at home with that commercial rate. Now there's a few different ways you can get commercial rates for postage. The first is by having a commercial account set up with either USPS, UPS, or FedEx. That's a little bit more complicated and not something we're going to get into today, but if you are running a lot of volume, we're talking many packages per week, this is something you should look into, but you probably already know what you're doing, so you're not watching this video. The second way you can get commercial rates is by selling through platforms like Etsy, eBay, or Mercari. They have discounted rates set up with the carriers that they have already negotiated for, and you can get commercial rates that way. If you are selling on one of these platforms, it's usually in your best interest to print your labels directly through them and take advantage of their commercial rates. The rates they get are going to be way cheaper than the rates you can get walking into a post office by yourself. The third way of getting commercial rates, and also my favorite, is sometimes better than the rates you can even get on platforms such as Etsy and eBay, Mercari, and wherever else you're. And that is by using third parties that have already negotiated their own commercial rates with different carriers and will let you piggyback on their commercial rates. There's several of these, such as GoShippo, Pirate Ship, and some others. Today I'm going to be focusing on Pirate Ship because I find it to be the most user-friendly, and their customer support talks like pirates, so that's a lot of fun. If you want to get a discounted rate through either USPS or UPS, you can go to pirateship.com and sign up for a free account. This isn't going to cost you anything out of pocket. Then you just need to enter in the address that you are sending your package as well as the dimensions of that package, and they will show you the rates that they can get for either USPS or UPS. You can then purchase your label using their discounted rates, and it's great. And Pirate Ship is my go-to for a lot of shipping because they have both USPS and UPS. And we're going to talk about the difference between the carriers here in just a second. Now, how do you decide whether to use USPS or UPS or FedEx? And the answer really boils down to it's complicated. But there are a few general guidelines that I use on a daily basis that help me in making that decision. The first one is any package under 1 pound. So if I got something that's under a pound, let's say like a pen or maybe a t-shirt or something like that, I am going to 100% of the time be looking at USPS and sending it first class mail with them. But for anything under a pound, none of the other carriers even come close to the savings that you can get by sending things USPS first class mail. Now, if there's something that is in between, say, 1 and 5-ish pounds, and the size of it is less than like 12 by 12 by 12, somewhere around that size, then I'm typically going to be going with USPS Priority Mail. I stay away from any sort of USPS ground mail because it's not that much cheaper than Priority and it's way, way slower. So typically for things in that range, 1 to 4, 5-ish pounds, and under that 12 by 12 by 12 size, I'm typically going with USPS Priority Mail. However, as things do get farther away, UPS Ground is very competitive in that price range. So if I'm sending something all the way across the country, I will also double check the USPS rates, especially as that package gets bigger and gets a little bit heavier and it gets farther away. However, your mileage may vary as far as whether USPS or UPS or even FedEx is a better value for you within those guidelines. But I found for me, where I live, 1 to 5, 4 pounds, usually I'm going with Priority Mail. Now, anything that ends up being larger than 12 by 12 by 12, such as maybe this pumpkin over here or the step stool I had earlier, or anything in that range, also anything over 5 or 6 pounds, I'm going to be sending that out via either UPS Ground or FedEx Ground. Now, choosing between those two just depends solely on who's offering the better price. The services are very comparable in terms of quality in my experience, and the cost is usually pretty close depending on where the package is going. To some locations, UPS will be cheaper for me, and to other locations, FedEx Ground will be cheaper for me, just depending on where it's going. I tend to check both of them when I have larger packages that weigh a little bit more. But those are my general guidelines. Under a pound, USPS first class. 1 pound to 5-ish pounds and under 12 by 12 by 12. Typically going Priority Mail, sometimes checking UPS, especially if the package is farther away. And then anything over 12 by 12 by 12 or over around 5 pounds, I am sending UPS Ground or FedEx Ground. And that's how I make my decision about where to check and whose prices I want to go with. Okay, now I'm going to talk about USPS Priority Mail for a few seconds because they offer a lot of options and it can be really confusing. With UPS Ground, FedEx, or first class USPS, you just stick something in your own brown box or stick it in a little poly bag, send it out the door. It's not a big deal. But with USPS Priority Mail, one of the benefits of it is you can get free boxes from them that you can order directly from their website. And I'm going to put a link to everything I've been talking about today down in the description below so that you can go check that out. Now there's a few different types of boxes and also some bags here that I prefer, and I'm going to talk through them. The first is a padded flat rate envelope. So what this means by flat rate is everything in here is going to ship out at the same price. They change the price laws on these 2 or 3 times a year, so keeping up with the prices can be kind of complicated. But right now, everything that goes in here, I can ship out for $8.52, which is a pretty big deal. That's the commercial rate that I'm getting right now on these. Okay? If you go to the post office and try and ship something on here, it's probably closer to $11 or something. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't looked in a while. As long as you get the flap to close, it's going to ship at that flat rate of $8.52 anywhere that USPS will deliver this to. Guam, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, APO, FPO. It's going to send it to all those places. So it's a great deal. Maybe you've got a whole bunch of pen blanks that you're sending to your friend up in New York. And you want to shove this thing full of them. It's going to be a great value. Now, where's it saying on here? Now these do have a maximum weight of 20 pounds. But I can't imagine stuffing this thing full of 20 pounds. That would be a lot. So you might keep this in mind if you're shipping a lot of wood blanks. Maybe you got some tools you're shipping to a buddy. This could be a really good value. There we go. Now the next type of box they have are just regular priority boxes. And these come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. And they will ship strictly based off of the weight that's in them and the dimensions that they have. You can order like 15 different shapes and sizes from them, and they're all over the place. Some that I like the best are the shoebox, the big number 7 box. This is 12 by 12 by 8. And also if you're shipping anything long, this mailing tube can come in really handy. It just folds up into a triangular tube. It's really long. It can come in handy. So you might keep that in mind as well. But there we go. They come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, depending on whatever you need. The next box is the one that people are probably the most familiar with, because if you've ever gone into the post office to ship something, this is what they've probably directed you to, and that is their flat rate boxes. This is a medium flat rate. They also make a large flat rate and a small flat rate, and even the mediums come in a couple of different shapes. These will ship out at a flat rate. If you are shipping something light, these are a very bad purchase. Also, if you're shipping something to somebody very close to you, these are a very bad purchase. However, if you live in Alaska or Hawaii and are constantly shipping things to the continental US, these are great because it's a flat rate no matter where it's going or what the weight is. These do have a max weight of 20 pounds for this one. Once again, sticking this thing full of 20 pounds, it's got to be pretty dense to add that up. But they can be a good value if you can get something really heavy in these and you're shipping them a long ways. Something to consider, but not something I use every day. The third type of boxes that USPS offers are what are called regional boxes. We have both the regional A and the regional B. These are really confusing because the USPS doesn't do a good job of educating people on exactly what they do or what the heck they mean by region A and region B. So, it's kind of complicated, but basically, I think of this as a magical box. And basically anything that can fit inside this box ships as if it was approximately 2 pounds. It's not exact, but it's pretty close, and that's the way I use in my head to estimate things, is if it fits in this box, it's basically 2 pounds. And this can be a very good value sometimes if you're shipping something heavy to somebody. Yeah. So, regional A comes in 2 different shapes. First shape right here, regular box shape. Second shape, same idea, just kind of flat, but it's going to make whatever you put in here approximately 2 pounds. So, if you design a cutting board or a charcuterie board, and you make it in such a way that it's going to fit in this box, the USPS will say, hey, that weighs 2 pounds, and it will ship at basically that 2 pound rate. The prices aren't exactly the same, but they're pretty darn close. So yeah, just quick little disclaimer there. Not exactly 2 pounds, but man, it's close. And it's a good way of estimating. You might think about this whenever you're designing things, if you're selling on platforms such as Etsy, is if I can get it to fit in this box, it's only going to cost 2 pounds to ship. Think about that. Region A, basically 2 pounds. Region B, same type of idea. Once again, it comes in 2 different sizes. I've only got one of them here today, but if it fits in here, it ships at basically the 5 pound rate. So if I can get it to fit in here, I can basically consider it to be 5 pounds. One of the other benefits of shipping USPS, besides the free boxes for our priority mail, is they will come to your house and pick up packages for free. You can go onto their website, once again linked down in the description, and schedule a pickup where they just come to your door and they get it. You don't have to make a trip to the post office. Great convenience. UPS, you can also schedule a pickup, but it costs a few dollars. On Pirate Ship, I think it costs like $2 or $3 to schedule it, which isn't bad if you've got a half dozen packages you need them to pick up. It's better than lugging them into the car, lugging them into the UPS store, going back home. It can definitely be worth it. But anyways, something to definitely consider with shipping USPS. FedEx, I don't think they have any pickups available, but maybe they do. If you know of any, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. But I don't know of any good ways to schedule pickups for FedEx. Okay, so by now you know that you want to pay commercial rates for your postage and buy it on either Pirate Ship or on one of the platforms you're selling on, such as Etsy, eBay, Mercari, wherever you're selling. Now, how do you go about actually printing that off? There's a couple of different ways. Number one, you can just use your regular old printer, print it out on a piece of paper, cut it out, tape it to the box, and that's totally great. If you're just shipping out one thing every few weeks, every few months, this is the route I would take. However, if you're shipping things out at least on a weekly basis or even on a daily basis or several packages per day, that is going to get very old very fast. And there's a couple of different solutions here. The first solution is to spend some money and get what is called a thermal printer. A thermal printer is going to print out the shipping labels on a 4x6 label that you can just unstick and stick to the package nice and easily. Saves a ton of time. If you are printing, let's say 10 packages a week, I would suggest going with this route. I personally have a Rollo printer, and I'm going to put a link to that down in the description. Huge time saving. Much better than cutting things out, taping them to packages. The second option, which is what I recommend if you're just shipping out 1 or 2 packages a month and you're really tired of cutting out the paper and taping it to the box, is you can actually get half sheet labels that will print from your regular inkjet or laser printer. They go in like a regular sheet of paper and you can print your postage to these half sheet labels. Now, inkjet and laser printers use a lot more ink or toner than a thermal, which doesn't use either of those things. It just uses heat. So in the long run, a thermal printer, if you're printing a lot, could be more cost effective. However, if you're just printing a label here or there, those half sheet labels are so nice, so time saving, something to definitely look at. And of course, like you guys know, links down in the description. When you're shipping any package, there's 4 basic things that you need. Number one, you're going to need some tape. Buy in bulk if you can. Going to Walmart or the dollar store to buy your tape. It's fine if you're just shipping a package here or there, but if you're doing any sort of volume, go online, buy in bulk. You're going to save tons of money. The second thing you're going to need is you're going to need some bubble wrap to protect whatever it is you're shipping. You can go to Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot and pick some up, but it's going to be quite expensive. The best place I have found to get bubble wrap is a place called American Bubble Boy. I can get 4 huge rolls of it for like $35, shipped to me right to my door. It's great. They've got 2-day shipping anywhere in the United States. Great service. I dare you to try and find a better rate because like it's just crazy. Anyways, 4 massive rolls, around $35, 2-day shipping. It doesn't get any better than this. They also sell on Amazon, but it's a lot cheaper to go to their website, and I will put a link to that down in the description just because great company, American company that makes bubble wrap. I mean, it's great. Go check it out. The third thing you're going to need are boxes. If you're shipping priority mail, of course, you can get the free boxes from USPS. However, if not, you're going to need to either scrounge up an old Amazon box that you've got lying around, or if you're going to be doing any sort of volume, I suggest buying a good quality box. It's going to help protect your item a lot better, and also if you have the right box, it can help cut down on shipping cost by not having something that's a lot larger than your item that's going to cost more to ship, either because it adds a ton of weight or a ton of dimensions. It can save you a lot of money by buying the right boxes for the items that you are selling. Lots of different places to buy boxes: eBay, Amazon, Uline. Shop around online. You can usually find a good deal for them. You should also consider looking for a local supplier for boxes. A lot of times boxes can be picked up cheaper in person than they can be ordered online. So looking for a local supplier of boxes can be a huge savings. I also will typically pick up small and medium sized boxes from places like either Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot, and those boxes come in handy all the time. Every week I'm using a box from either Lowe's or Walmart to help me ship things out. It's a great option. And then the last shipping supply that I use really on a daily basis is contractor's paper. I use this for void fill instead of bubble wrap or those nasty peanuts that they used to use, and I really like it. You can get the cheap craft paper that crumbles up really easy, but I prefer this thicker construction paper that I can get from Lowe's. It's a pretty good value and it's a lot stiffer. It's going to help keep my heavier things from moving around a lot. Something I really like. I get the 2-foot rolls of it. and it'll last a long time before I have to buy a new roll. So if you found this video helpful today, please go ahead and give it a like. If you've got any other questions about shipping through any of the major carriers, anything below freight level, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you. But thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.